I don't know. Oh, maybe that was the reason why my mic was muted for some reason. But big up, everyone. Hopefully, you get to hear me this time. I don't know why I did that. Sometimes when you come in through the intros, they'll mute your mic for you, and then sometimes I guess you got to unmute yourself because that's what I had to do right there.
Yeah,
But
it's strange when it does that, isn't it? It does happen.
yeah. Um, I also wanted to say that we've got a bunch to do on today's docket. To do that, though, I wanted to give a proper hello to Lee. How are you doing today?
Good, mate. Excellent. Looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah. It's as I was trying to say. Unfortunately, you probably couldn't hear me. The calm before the storm, I guess you could call it. That's what it feels like. Calm before the storm. Big up to the birthday boy. One day removed, but all the same, the birthday boy. How you doing, Brian?
Yeah, I'm very well, thanks. Yeah, thank you.
Good. Yeah. Hopefully you're well and rested from your birthday celebrations yesterday. Did you do anything special for your celebration, or
Just the open top bus parade around town, the usual. I usually get about 50,000, 55,000. That's
yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up.
I think it's my dad today, the 10th. It's the 10th today. I'm
Today's
pretty sure it is, but I do forget, sometimes. But yeah, mine's the 15th. So yeah, little cluster of birthdays. Apparently, my dad's dad, his was within a few days of ours as well. So all three of us were born, within about a week of each other in May, date wise.
Very true. Very true. Well, let's get right into this. Let's get right into it. Everyone's strapped in and ready to go, buckled up and ready to go. So, welcome back to all my fellow Reds out there. Liverpool 12th Man Show is always the place to be, as you all know, to enjoy some camaraderie with your brethren. Maybe talk a little banter with the on and off rival here or there. But this Sunday, it's going to be a heavyweight clash at Anfield. I will say heavyweight, maybe heavyweight versus middleweight, but it's all good. Maybe that's just me. But it's Liverpool versus Arsenal fixture that should or could have been a title decider, but unfortunately for Arsenal, that's already been decided. So we will be receiving the Guard of Honor. And we will certainly be receiving the proper due from Arsenal, considering that Arsenal does not hold back any punches against us. They normally come out and try to do their best at ruining our day. But more times than not, we are certainly the ones that come out on top. So. So despite obviously the trophy on hold, waiting to be lifted at the end of the season and be carted around on the double-decker bus, we still have some pride left for this game. We still have what I'd like to say would be momentum going into next year, certainly, going into the summer at least. Bragging rights, that's certainly for us as the fans. And trust me, Mikel Arteta is desperate to end his side slump with a statement win at our fortress. I'm sure he would be liking nothing less than do that. So let's dive right into these key insights, these key moments, or these key takes from myself, the panel. And if you guys got some takes of your own, be sure to include those as well. So I'm going to get right into it because you know how I like to look at the Opta supercomputer. Basically, according to Opta supercomputer, Liverpool are tipped to win at a 46.6% in all pre-match situations, or they do these like 10,000 different evaluations or run-throughs of the game. I think primarily the reason why we are probably now, it sounds 46%. That sounds like it's not in our favor, but it is, because there's the likelihood of a draw being involved in that too. So 46 percent is what they is our percentage of winning. That's what they computed us the percentage of us to get a win in this game. Let's just be honest. Anfield is a fortress for us, especially when it comes to visits from Arsenal. Arsenal rarely win at this grounds. The Reds are unbeaten in our last 14 home games against Arsenal in all competitions. 7 wins, 7 draws. That's since 2012. Meanwhile, Arsenal are. It's tough to be Arsenal right now. That's something we can all agree on. They've been dumped out of the Champions League by PSG. They dropped a lead to lose at Bournemouth. And here's the killer stat. They've now dropped 21 points from winning positions this season. Let me repeat that. They have dropped 21 points from winning positions this season.
That's a lot of points, isn't it?
It's a lot of points.
It's 21.
Yeah. You can see we're all at the front of the class for that one, huh? But it is a lot of points. That's their joint worst ever in the Premier League. Like, that's as many. There's never been another Premier League season that they've done any worse than that.
That they've dropped as many from winning positions. Well, that is interesting. Interesting. But I mean, yeah, they are way, way back, aren't they? They're bloody miles behind us, aren't they? That's what pains them so much about the season, doesn't it? And I'm not having that injury bullshit, because they weren't out that long, Martinelli and Saka. They have been back for a while now, and they were back for Europe for them. That thing about the injuries, as I said, we had it last season. We had the exact same thing last season. We couldn't catch a break injury-wise, but nobody said, "Oh, that's why Liverpool fell off." You know what I mean? Nobody was asked that off. Well, obviously they were.
I'll be honest with you, Lee. I'll tell you the truth. If we had the AFCON was difficult because that was also an AFCON year, right? But if we had the fortune of mitigating our injuries the way that we did this year, why couldn't we? I think we could have won last year, to be honest with you. It's not like we were in first place last year for bits of the season.
Yeah, for a long time we were, weren't we? We were 9 points off at the end, 9 points off City and 7 off Arsenal.
Right.
By the time the season finished, weren't we? But
it just hurt. It hurt that we had Mohamed Salah injured towards that stretch run.
Jota had his usual injury, his mandatory injury.
Exactly.
Part of his deal. You must be injured every season. But and don't forget, who was the other bloke? Nunes was even injured for a while. Remember?
Nunes had a couple of knocks. Yeah, he did.
No, that's the only one I go on about, because I remember distinctly we were left with 2 forwards instead of the 5. 3 of them were out. So this bitching that Arsenal have been doing, we had it last season. Suck it up, it happens. Go again next season. Come back stronger, next season, Michael.
Yeah, no doubt. I would even go as far as to say Trent got injured, I think, last year during that stretch run. Because he got injured in that FA Cup game, I believe.
It's the amount of youngsters that were on the pitch in the Carabao Cup final. It was Cleven in goal for the Carabao Cup final last season against Chelsea. And Connor was at right back, Giroud was at right centre back, and then Dans and McConnell got on the pitch at the end. I think even Clark got on, didn't he, in that one for like about 5 minutes or something. But there was just the amount of kids we had was mad, wasn't it, last season in the Carabao Cup final? And the fact that we managed to go on and win the trophy, and that they tried to kick us and all that as well. I mean, they kicked Gravenberch off the pitch, didn't they? Well, Caicedo did, but they tried everything. They even had that bollocks where Virgil's goals ruled out, and we still triumphed with loads of kids in the team. That was the sweetest part about it, the youngsters that were in the team, whether they were like, or not, they were on the pitch.
It kind of teetered a little bit towards, after we won the League Cup, it was kind of like,
yeah, that was the point.
We were down to playing youth academy players, and we were down to play, as in it was. I think that we were fortunate
after that. That was the high point one at the Carabao Cup, and then we slumped after that, which is where obviously must have been when the Jürgen news properly sunk in that he was leaving, and things just fell off a little bit. The worst part was the Atlanta game. I hated that because I wanted the Europa League. Like, I wanted Jürgen to complete that whole set. Like, but yeah, there you go. It annoyed me that Atalanta game because we were pissed.
Has this been before? Because I know we're talking about Arsenal, so I'll just bring this up. Has this been confirmed, by the way?
Yeah, apparently, yeah. It's no. He hasn't signed on the dotted line, but it is all pretty much done as far as I know. From what I've seen, what I've heard. Solid.
Interesting. Look, Zubimendi is certainly a talented player, but if he's going to Arsenal, okay, all right, because you'll be joining a group that has, let's be honest with it, Arsenal have cracked under pressure. Once again, a lot of people like to call them bottle jobs. That is certainly very much the case, considering they were, there was the talks about how they were going to go back, even though they lost to Newcastle at home, they were going to go to Newcastle and win in the League Cup. How'd that work out? They were going to do bits in the FA Cup. Got dropped out of that too. They beat Real Madrid in the Champions League. Oh, we are looking at lifting that Champions League for the first time. That's all you heard. How'd that work out?
At certain points in the league season, they were going great guns, and they were playing really well. Lots of great outfits when Gabriel was still fit. Whenever they were playing well in the league, anyway, they did at some points play really well in the league. But I've never been a fan of the way he goes about it, Arteta, and this set piece, this thing with set pieces, and you know what I mean?
They've had 4 consecutive leagues.
Having a man on the goal, he got on my nerves, and City were at it as well early in the season. That really got on my nerves. Because
they've had 4 consecutive major cup exits at the same stage. 4 consecutive major cup exits at the same stage. That hurts. That starts to creep into the psyche a little bit. It has to. I'm not counting them out. I'm not saying they're a bad team. I'm not saying that they're whatever. But what I am saying is that does creep into your psyche just somewhat. It has to. Being so close, but then being so far away, it can get frustrating. It can get extremely frustrating. I know that they've battled back before. I remember 2019, 2020 when they beat us 2-1 when we were already crowned champions. I know that memory is unfortunately one that I do have in my memory banks.
What did you make about that early in the season where they were putting the man on the goalie, and City were up to it as well. But Arsenal were doing it quite a bit and getting a lot of success. And it looked like, I mean, it was proven fruitful at the beginning of the season, but it really done my head in, to reduce the game to that, to win a game that way. Just, I don't like it. And to me, it's almost, I mean, it is cheating, I think. Like, I was going to say almost cheating, but it is fucking cheating. That one City did against Wolves early in the season. No, I don't like to see that. Like, and this the sort of thing, these are the type of things that Arteta represents to me. Like, everyone wants to win, and you'll do anything to win, but things like that I don't like.
I'll ask you this, and the chat can chime in too. Does Arsenal's recent form justify the gap we now see between our two sides? I know we had a loss against Chelsea, so that kind of we could have expanded upon that gap, but I mean, but now we're going to have a possible opportunity to put 3 points in between us as even further. Does Arsenal's recent form justify the gap we now see between the two sides? I'll ask that of Lee, and then I'll ask Brian for his answer.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think what their recent league form is. What was their last league result?
Okay, give me one. I'll let Brian answer it, and I'll pull up some stats for you as well.
It hasn't been rock solid, has it? Their recent form, but yeah.
Or you got an answer? Cool.
So the gap is what it is because
they've had a draw, win, draw, loss. By the way.
Yeah, like it's them talking away so many points. That's not our fault if they keep dropping points, is it? Like, and we keep collecting ours.
Their only win was against in the last 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, in the last 5, yeah, they've had 1 win, 1 draw, and 3 losses. They've had 3 straight losses, but that's PSG included. So that's Bournemouth, PSG. Those are their 3 losses. Crystal Palace was a draw, and they had a Ipswich win. 4-0 against Ipswich.
Yeah, well, it's just sort of emphasised then why they are so far behind, because they can't string enough good results together, can they? And that's how you win things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it's justified, Brian? Justified gap between our two teams?
I don't really understand what you mean by justified.
Meaning, like, as in. I mean,
they are.
Do you think that this team is? Do you think this is a truer reflection of Arsenal, with the fact that they've been, struggling to hold on to their form, struggling to even have any bit of a form? They had their great win against Real Madrid, but then have certainly come down off that peak. And the sheer fact that, there is. The gap between Arsenal and Liverpool, I think, is if you were to ask me, around a 10-point gap between the two of us is like what I would say.
The main thing about the gap is it was 9 points before they got any injuries, when their team was as strong as it could possibly be and they were playing well. There was a 9-point gap, and they wouldn't have made that up. Looking at the game, what's happened since then, they would never have made that up. And I wasn't overconfident or nothing, but I was really feeling even at that point that we would win the league, but that they'd give us more of a run for our money. I expected more of a fight of it, but it hasn't transpired, and I'm not bothered. I just wanted to swim. Don't care if we finish 1 point ahead of someone or 31 points ahead of second place. You know what I mean? It's all good.
So, I mean, are you asking like, is where they are now, is that like instead of say justification, is that a true reflection of the real gaps between the two teams? Is what I mean.
Do you think that this race should be closer? Do you think that Arsenal's just had a couple of misfortunes along the road, and that these two teams are a lot closer than the point tallies suggest? Or do you think do you think that that the point is justified? I can't think of another word for it, in the sense of being like, yeah, we are that much better than Arsenal this year.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about, look, every team gets injuries, but
Yeah.
they have had a huge, big chunk of their season where they literally didn't have a striker. They're starting a DM up front. We can't ignore that. But even then, I mean, they had Havertz. He was doing okay, actually, Havertz. So I would think, yeah, even with all, I think I know what the point you're trying to make now. Like, are we genuinely 10 points better than them or 14 points better than them, or is it just
We're currently
circumstance?
15 points better than them.
15 points. Yeah, it's probably more like around 12 or something. If they'd had a decent striker for 5 months, they probably would have had a couple of more points. But no, I think it's this season without a doubt, whether like team wise, squad wise, they're a bit back heavy. Got a lot of centre halves, Timber, Calafiore playing as fullbacks. They've got a great centre half pairing, and they've also got 1, 2, 3, 4 other centre halves, 2 of whom play at fullback. They got Jorginho, Partey, Rice. So they're very back heavy, and a great goalkeeper. Ray is a good goalkeeper. But then pure like hugely reliant on Saka, and also we've seen like I've seen plenty of videos now about, they're all these OTT videos, but like Martin Odegaard, dropping off, and a lot of that is down to Saka and also not having strikers. So yeah, I think they don't have anything like the balance that we do. Like they probably have, like, we could take a Calafiore or a Timber, we could take one of them in our squad. We're a tiny bit light at the back, but we're much more balanced throughout. We've got much more attacking options: Diaz, Gakpo, Salah, Jota when he's fit, Nunes when he's firing, and even Kayes when he gets on the pitch. That's 6 or 7. They don't have anything like that. They really don't. It's so, I think we've got much more balance. So I'd say we're probably, 8-10 points is probably a fair reflection on the distance between the two teams. And it only takes, like you're showing there, a couple of injuries, and boom, you're 15 points worse off. So Zubimendi coming in again, yeah. Look, they're going to lose Jorginho and maybe even Thomas Partey. So it's kind of a like for like. But yeah, it's not a. I've heard Romano saying, "Oh, they're getting a DM, but don't worry, they're also getting a striker and a winger." Well, they'd want to hurry up, because they're doing it again. They're getting a DM in and they don't have a striker up. It wouldn't surprise me, they'd want to make sure they have one bagged, because if they hang around, they'll find out that one of their striker targets has gone somewhere else. So yeah, hugely dependent on Saka. And some people would say we're dependent on Salah, but I think we have better balance.
I'll even go as far as big up to Pops in the house, big up to Kevin, Bernie, Norm, shout out to Barry, Alexander, who else was in the house? Red for Life, who I put up a comment from before, even Trudon, Realism Jared. There was someone with like they don't have a name, so I can't say who they are. I know there's just ... It looks like, or something like that. And I did see a possible rival hater in the house by the name of Dennis, but it's all good. I don't know if you're a hater, a rival, or just a hater in general. But shout out to you too. Hope that you're well.
Barry Sweeney is no.
Oh no, yeah, definitely said what's up to Barry. Definitely.
That guy's name was Underscore, by the way.
Underscore.
Yeah.
Maybe he's okay. All right.
And Dennis was definitely an Arsenal fan.
Okay. All right. Well, Dennis, you can tell us this surprising thing, because this is a stat that was very surprising that I saw out there. For all the claim, for all the acclaim that they get for their set pieces and scoring under set pieces, Set Piece FC. I think they were called Stoke, right, or something like that. I think it was like Stoke FC or something like that. What was that?
Yeah. No, I have heard people calling them Stoke, and it's funny. The Stoke,
Yeah.
the agricultural side, to put it mildly, worthy.
Right. The eye-popping stat that I saw for me was that Arsenal's biggest weakness this season, set pieces. That is surprising, guys. And for a team that's so guaranteed to be on for set pieces, so well and good, it is surprising to see that Arsenal have let up a whopping 39% of the goals they've conceded this year from set pieces.
Yeah, I mean, remember us against them last season when we dumped them out the FA Cup, that one Trent put in. He put it in from the opposite side where he usually takes them from, so it was swinging in, and it was right in the 6-yard box, and one of their players hooked it in, didn't he? But not that confident at defending. They're good at scoring from corners, but they're not the best side in the division at defending them, I don't think. I've seen scores against regularly like that. I mean, and we've scored regularly against them from set pieces in recent years.
Well, the point is that is the worst rate in the division this year so far. That's why it's very wild. I know that they get a lot of fanfare about their set pieces, but for them to be the worst in the league from set pieces, that's somewhat telling as well. It's weird. It's a weird stat. Like it's a very weird stat. They give up a lot of set pieces apparently, and we've stepped it up here and there a little bit. We've seen some goals from Virgil, from set pieces, and he's been able to connect with them a little bit more. Maybe we get fortunate to see a Ibu goal or maybe even a Quansah goal, depending on who starts. It was just something I thought was very interesting. And speaking of danger, Mr. Robinson, right? Or Danger Robinson family. Mo Salah, he's got 11 Premier League goals against Arsenal. Only behind his tallies against two other teams. There's only two other teams that he's scored more goals against. Yeah. If he scores or assists on Sunday, he'll equal the all-time record for most goal involvements in a single Premier League season with 47. That's held by Alan Shearer and also by Andrew Cole. So absolutely incredible how this man is rewriting the history books for a lot of us and really, really showing the ultimate class that he is, which is a true proper red. But I saw that Pop's got one of the teams that he has more goals against other than Arsenal. Do you guys know the other team? He said Manchester United as his guess. We'll have a little trivia section at the end of this show too.
Are we talking about Salah?
Yeah. So definitely, Norm. Hopefully, you're here for the trivia section when we get to it.
I think it is. I think he's got it right, hasn't he? That Man United is the one who's scored more than.
Man United is one of them. Who's this? Who's the other? Who's the other team?
Spurs, is it? Is it Spurs?
Yes, it is. Very well done. Very well done. Spurs and United are the only two teams he scored more goals against. Should be interesting. So if Salah equals or breaks the goal involvement record, do you think some of the Troy Deeney style haters out there will possibly rank him a little bit higher in the career achievements?
No, their views probably won't change. People like that are stuck in that position, aren't they? Like nothing he does will please them. But anyway, we don't care, do we? What people like that.
I mean, can he sit at the table with Henry and the others?
Yeah, I think he can. Yeah. I think he's been. How long was Henry? It doesn't matter anyway. But he's not. Henry was. I'd say Henry was a better player, a more gifted player. But Mo's got loads of gifts as well. Like just because he's not Henry doesn't mean he isn't a brilliant player. I don't know. It's a hard one because.
I know you're kind of going back and forth on this one, Lee. Where are you standing?
To be ranked up, See, I don't like comparing them to players who are sod or like him. Like the forward sod or like Henry, you could compare because he did used to play on the wing initially, like on the left wing, coming in on his right foot, and even when he was playing centrally, he'd still hang on the left a lot, wouldn't he, and cut in. So you can compare the two. There's other forwards I don't like, comparing them to because there's just nothing like him as a player. But Henry is one you can compare Mo to, I suppose. But yeah, he's up there, isn't he, with them all? Like he's won. Henry didn't win the Champions League, did he? Not while he was in England, anyway. Did he win it with Barca? Did he, Henry?
Say again.
Did Henry win the Champions League with Barca? I'm saying like Mo won the Champions League, whereas Henry didn't. Well, not when he was in England. I'm just thinking about what they won. How many leagues did Henry get? Did he get 2 of Arsenal? Yes. Yeah. Yes. And Mo's got 2 now. Well, I can't remember how many years Henry was here.
I will say this too, because I know I just saw Pops's question, and he said maybe the question for us is, has Mo surpassed Stevie G? And I would go as far as to say no, only under the pretense that Stevie G was great even without great supporting actors. Salah has been great, but he's been fortunate to be great with other great supporting actors. So if he had done, if even though Stevie G hasn't won a Premier League, he's won a Champions League, but he hasn't won a Premier League, I would still put him as the all-time great still for the Premier League era.
With Steve, wasn't it? Like he played in some really bad sides. Played in some good
sides. I don't think there's been one. You can't really say there's been one real year that Mohamed Salah played for Liverpool where we weren't at least expected to contend for something. You can't say that always for the teams that Stevie G was on.
Yeah, he did drag us by his own 2 hands sometimes, didn't he? It was no exaggeration that he was like just an incredible player, like not at the right time, like.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for him and that, like the rival fans can say, yeah, he never won a league, but it doesn't define greatness, does it? Like, a player can still be great. There's loads of great players that didn't win sod all or never won the big things if they won anything at all. Loads of great players down the years who've done that way. Who've not done that, won anything.
Yeah, on that, I will say, like, you can't say, I mean, look, he played in the teams he played in. A little while ago, it wouldn't have been, but Stevie's a Scouts legend. He's got all that shit going on. But I think there's an argument to be made there because whereas Stevie may have carried some teams, but look, he carried them probably as far as they could go. And he's not. We were never. I mean, it did sicken me a little bit when you'd hear from other fans. We were never a one-man team. As much as Stevie Gerrard was, we weren't just Steven Gerrard. There was other players on those sides that did things as well. But I think Mo has come close to doing something similar with this side, even though we were a top kind of team. When it comes to carrying us, I think he's carried this attack this season. I think he clearly has. Just look at his numbers compared to everybody else's. I think he's been almost as instrumental in doing his part at the top of this, because this team without Mo Salah in it, if you replace Mo Salah with someone who scores maybe 10 or 12 goals, I don't know. I think he's come close. You know, the more he does stuff, I don't think he'll ever outdo Stevie just because Stevie's based because he's a Scouser, I suppose. But I think Salah has come close to matching Gerrard's achievement in carrying is the wrong word, but in what he's done for this side, the way he's done. Of course, there are other people in it, but I think he's an awful lot closer than he might have been, say, a year ago. Definitely. But he won't. Nobody will ever. Stevie's always going to be up there. You know, he's
Yeah,
always
we
going to be
were
like a
about
Kenny Baby, Steve
side.
Gerrard.
We weren't about
Sorry,
starting
man.
in Stevie's time until Rafa left. That's when like we were a shit side when Rafa left. But under Julia and Rafa, it was a really good side. Like we did have other good players. So the Valerians couldn't win the league, could we? Obviously, the competition was too great at the time. But yeah, I think Mo's definitely inching up and up on that legends
I
list.
think he deserves to sit at the table. I think he deserves to. If it's a big table, if 8 consider, I think Mo deserves to be sat at the table. He's got 2 Champions Leagues. He's got 2 league titles. He scored 1 billion goals. I mean, clutch moments, the whole lot. I don't think anybody could.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, look, Stevie's always going to be Stevie, isn't he? He's Steven Gerrard.
I haven't looked at it for a while, the rest of them top scorers, which other ones he's got in his sights at the moment. Mo, who else is close by that he can catch now in that list? He's caught Henry. Is he caught Lampard yet?
Who's this now?
On that high scorers list.
I'd have to look. I don't.
All-time bloody Premier League scorers list. I'm trying to think who else is on it, like that's within grasp of Mo. Rooney, is Rooney above him?
I can look it up. I'm gonna look it up for you.
Gotta get above Rooney. Can't get Rooney above you.
I'm just looking up something else too, real quick. I think. Oh, Bernie is with us too, by the way. It was rude of me not to bring her into the conversation and properly introduce. How are you doing, Bernie?
Yeah, permission to come on board, Captain.
Yes, definitely. Always room on the boat. Definitely. The SS Redbird here.
I'm going to call you Captain Sparrow.
Captain Sparrow. Yes, definitely. I got the same hair as him. But what's your thoughts on that, by the way? Do you think that it's more of a conversation of is Salah now a greater icon or greater player than Steven Gerrard, or is it more so we can have that conversation about him competing against Henry?
Oh, genius players.
I love Mo. Yeah, I was going to say I love Mo. Mo is absolutely, he's been fantastic for us, hasn't he? But I have to say, my heart has got a special place for Stevie, because apart from anything else, some of those goals, where he'd come running in on I'm not as technical as you guys, but he'd come running in and on a volley, and you'd think to yourself, how's he going to do that? And it's one kick, and it's in the back of the net from the halfway line. And I know Mo's different, and we've had some cracking goals off Mo, but Stevie just always thought that he would will us over the line himself. He'd get us there by hook or by crook. So I like them both, but I think Stevie's always going to pip it for me just slightly.
Okay.
It's Andy Cole who's just above Mo now in that list. Only 2 goals above him, and then it'll be Wayne Rooney after that. Yeah, and then Kane and Shearer.
Okay.
We could definitely catch Rooney next season.
Yeah,
but as Andy Cole will tell you straight up, Andy Cole never scored a penalty. Andy will tell you that as quickly as he can. Well, it's his. Oh, it's a fair point, but yeah, he'll always say that. So yeah, no, he's next up. Andy Cole is next. He's going to get that this year. easily.
Yeah, hopefully that'll go before the season's end. Hopefully that'll go. He's got 2 goals to equal and 3 to go above him. But he's got 23 to equal Rooney, 24 to go above Rooney. But he could
He'll
smash
do it
that.
against. He'll do it against Arsenal. He'll get a hat trick against Arsenal. There you go. Job done.
I
Forget
think
about it.
he's,
You can take the last 2 weeks off then.
I think hasn't he got to get 6 to match? He's only about 6 behind, isn't he? Then he'll take over.
Barney's breaking up.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, Bernie.
Oh, sorry. Is this coming 3G again? Anyway, my niece was here
I
today.
remember
She
when
said, I can't
3G
get a
was the
signal.
new
I
thing, and
said,
now people are complaining.
I said, join the club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can't stream on 3G, you can't get a phone call out of it, no?
Yeah.
Have you not got
3G's,
Wi-Fi in your house? No?
Bernie? Yep. You might have
Yeah,
lost.
no, I'm
for a
here.
second. Okay.
3 Stevie G's will take.
Okay. See, this is so. Let me save these so I can bring these up because I know Pops is in the chat, and he had a comment that I will address in 1 second. Let me just make these. I was putting together something to illustrate the point, or maybe possibly even articulate my opinion more accurately. So let me bring this over. I'm gonna give 1 more second. So this is this one. What year would you say would be possibly? What was like the worst Liverpool team Stevie played on? What would you say would be the worst?
I mean, like Norm said, they don't have to be better than each other. We're just looking at. That's the way I look at it. There's no measure for greatness. That's the way I look. Like Norm said, they don't have to be better. There is no. That's the way I look at it. There's both incredible, iconic players. So.
Okay, I'm not disputing that they're both incredible players. I wasn't putting that.
I know you're not, but I'm just saying I don't. It's not. To me, it's like kind of debating between your kids or something. You know, it's like can we just agree that we both love them equally and kind of not offend anyone?
I don't,
but no, if you're asking,
I understand.
obviously,
I don't have any children, but I understand.
No, obviously it's the Roy team. I would say is probably.
Okay, let me get this up here for you. So this is why I was thinking maybe 2000. Bring back. I was thinking we could. When I did a quick Google search, it put 2017, 2018 was the first year that Mohamed Salah played for Liverpool. But when I did the search for Stevie for his worst year, it gave me 2002, 2003. All right. That was a year we ended up 5th in the league. Our top scorer was Michael Owen that year. We got knocked out of the Champions League in the first group. We made it to the UEFA Cup quarterfinals. We made it to the 4th round of the FA Cup, and that year we were League Cup winners that year. That was like our that was something that was
United at Wembley, wasn't it?
And 2017, 2018.
Sorry.
Okay. You gonna say? In 2017, 2018, Liverpool ended up in 4th place in the league. We are 4th round in the FA Cup, 3rd round in the League Cup, and we were runner-ups in the Champions League. So I know Pops was saying basically, I'll just bring up the comment so I can address what it was. He said Mo's first season we weren't ready yet. I mean, and it's because I was used kind of combating what I said about the fact that I think Stevie's had some heavier lifts when it came to putting together silverware runs. These are the teams that we're looking at. This was the team.
There you go. Sit down.
Oh yeah, Coco. Yeah, definitely wants to watch this up close here. This is the team that was the 2000. This was the 2002-2003 Liverpool team that won the League Cup. You can see pretty much. I mean, like on this list. I mean, Sammy was the captain. He was a little. This is like towards the end of his career. Who else? I mean, Michael Owen obviously was in high form. I love myself a little Risa. But I mean, that's the list. The list is what it is. That's what we were looking at in 2002, 2003. However, I didn't have enough room to put on for the goalkeepers. The goalkeepers for 2017, 2018 were, I know Mignolet was one of them. Karius was the other because he's the one that actually played in that who started for us in that cup final, and then Danny Ward was the third goalkeeper. But this is the goal. This is the team that you had for Salah joining, and I even give a better. If you look at that team, I get that Pops doesn't think that we were ready, but I certainly think that we had the components to be a. I mean, a lot of these players were all players that were potential great names, if not ended up being very good players. Look, Emre Can is a good player. Obviously, he's become the captain of Dortmund. Ox is a good player. Lallana's a good player. Hendo, Coutinho, James Milner, Ginny, all in that midfield. That's a pretty solid midfield, if you ask me. Our back line being obviously we had Virgil that year. Still, we had Klein as our right back. Trent Alexander-Arnold was on that team as well. Flanagan, it's okay, but Matip, Robbo, even Moreno, all good players. Young Joey G. But yeah, a pretty good team. Pretty good team. Looking at that front line of Bobby, Salah, Sadio, Origi. All right, Ben Woodburn's one thing. That name's another thing. But a pretty decent team. Pretty decent looking team there. And if you're going to consider that to be the year that, I don't think that those two teams really are same caliber. That's what I meant. But maybe.
Yeah, but one was a question, which year did he join, and then the other was like, which was his worst season.
No, this was.
No, but Google is saying that's his worst team.
Say again.
Google is saying that's the worst season Jared had at Liverpool, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the worst side he was in.
Oh no, that was Google said the worst. I think I asked what was the. Hold on, I'll tell you which one I asked.
Because he started in '98, not 2001.
For me, the way played him up in when Rodgers first.
Well, I said, like, that's Salah's first year. What I'm saying is, like, one is Steven Gerrard's worst season according to Google, and then the other one is the team that Salah joined. So I mean, like, but Stevie, like, I don't.
Again, Stevie G also won a League Cup with one of the worst teams that he played on.
Nobody is saying like this isn't me. I'm
I
not
think there
being
were
dragged down
worse
into some.
teams
I'm
than that he
saying
played
Stevie
on.
was
Like,
bad and Salah's good. I'm just saying I don't really understand why we're even debating it. They were both awesome players.
Okay.
They're both. It's like who is the best? I mean, that's just trying to drive sort of.
I didn't bring up Stevie G versus
I don't know who did.
Pops did, but I was just trying to emphasize that I
Yeah,
think Stevie
I
G.
just think they've both done excellent things.
If I was going to have to make a conclusive, pick and not sit on the fence, I'd say look, Mo Salah is on a definite highway towards surpassing even Stevie G, because of all the accolades he's had.
No, but you never will. That's when like this whole ledgering thing is all completely from someone's point of view.
Right,
So
but
I don't think
you can
Salah will ever.
we can still have the conversation, Brian. I
No,
understand.
I don't. No, I know, but like I don't think like Salah could probably win 3 European Cups, and there'd be a cohort of people that would say, "Oh, Stevie G was the best ever." That's never going to change. Never ever going to change. I don't think it's because hometown boy, almost a one club man. You could call him almost a one club. He never played for anybody else in England or in the top league. He left, but when he did, he went to LA. So he didn't. So he basically a one club man in Europe anyway. So I think you always have, that kind of thing. But
because this originally started with the Henri talk. I mean, like there will be people that'll say the same thing about Henri.
Yeah, I just don't see them. I mean, you can only, I suppose, when it comes down to these 11 things, you can only get 11 players in. But yeah, that's the conversation Pops doesn't want to have, is who's actually a better player, Henri or Salah. Because
Comparing
Pops knows the answer.
midfielders when they're very different as well. That's another shit one, when people try and compare midfielders and they're trying to compare, like, a defensive midfielder, like, with an attacking midfielder.
No, but I also do have to sorely take umbrage with your suggestion that Sammy Lee was at the end of his career then, or Sammy Hipia. He was only 28 and he played for a good 10 more. Sammy Hipia would be giving you the side eye if you said he was nearly at the end of his career in 2001. He had a good few years left, did Sammy.
Yeah.
He had a good
He
few years
played
left.
2010 with us, didn't he? Something.
He played. He played for years. I mean, he left us.
2008, probably something silly like that.
He played for years at Leverkusen. He went to Leverkusen and they made him, when everybody thought he was finished, and they made him captain, and they nearly won the league. And I think they named him player of the year or something like that. He went on, he had a great career. Yeah, Sammy. You don't see enough of Sammy around the place. You never see him on TV. You never see him doing pundit stuff, or even when there's like a big game come up, you never see Sammy on TV. I'd love to see more of him on TV because he was always good kind of value. He says it like it is kind of thing. He doesn't seem to really be interested in the whole pundit thing. Maybe he's on TV in Finland or Germany or something. I don't know, but you never see him. I'd love to see him sit down with. You never see those legends things around him and Didi Hamann. Is he at Legends? Yeah, I'd love to see him and Didi Hamann having a chat because you don't see. It's like the same. Like you can see fucking Jamie Carragher, Stephen Warnock. They're on telly every second day. Robbie Fowler's always on TV. I'd love to hear from some of the kind of the lesser known lads like Steve Finnan, Sammy Hipia, Momo Sissoko, these kind of guys that you don't see. It'd be great to hear some of their
players as well, and not always the same ones. It's nice to see some of the other ex-players. It's always a tonic to see someone.
It's the same rotating cast on TNC, Sky Sports, CBS. It's because I know they use the same things. It's just the same people. Like over in Ireland, Didi Hamann is always on Irish TV. Like Didi Hamann is big in Ireland. He comes over to Waterford a lot for the Liverpool Supporters Club. And he's one of the main pundits on Irish TV for the Champions League. Whether Liverpool are playing out, he's just one of the main pundits. And he is great. He's really good value. Because on Irish TV, they can speak a bit more than, like on Sky Sports, it's all like super scripted. Yeah, well, not scripted, but they can only say so much. On Irish TV, they can let loose a little bit more because nobody's watching them, basically. They can say what they want on Irish TV. No one's going to hear about it.
Yeah,
But,
they used to be like... TV like that in Britain. Like, you don't see it anymore, but it wasn't like footy TV. It'd be like more lit. But I understand what you're trying to portray. Like, it's more like a late night thing, and there aren't like loads of people watching, so you can like.
Yeah, it's like Graham Souness. Graham Souness used to be on Irish TV all the time as well. And if you think he used to say mad stuff on Sky Sports, you should see the stuff he used to say on Irish TV. He'd go full bore on people. He wouldn't hold back at all. So
Yeah.
that's those. I'd like to hear from some of those older players that are around, or the lesser known. Like, you just don't see on TV. Momo Sissoko, like, what's happened to him?
Mm. A good show on LFC TV was 60 Minutes, and it was just a different ex-player every week, and you interview players from all eras, but that was really good for seeing old players. But on LFC TV, Gary Gillespie is one of the main faces, and I do like Gary Gillespie. Do you have, I don't know why they have Warnock on. I can't stand Warnock. But I like Gary Gillespie anyway. He's one of the main ones on. I've had it for like a year now, but like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, he was like probably the best one on there of like when I was last watching it, Gary Gillespie. You'd see McAteer on it quite a bit. And Aldridge, I like Aldridge. Aldridge has always made me laugh. Like, I like Aldridge.
Sammy was a coach. He was both a coach for his national team, Finland, and he was also a coach for Bayern Leverkusen. To answer your question.
Oh, he's a coach. Sure, he managed Brighton as well. He was Brighton manager for a while.
But for now, let me bring it back to our conversation. I'm going to ask you guys this. Ask you a question. How will Liverpool score their first goal versus Arsenal? Will it be a set piece, open play, a penalty, or they won't score? I didn't put this in there again. Actual choices. D, C, B. Since we've just been talking about set pieces, I figured that would be a question to ask. Let's see. Make sure I get in there. All right. So, or yes, or it could be E. You could put E as in there'll be an Arsenal.
Or you could have a mixture of the answers. They could have a set piece, a corner, and we break in open play, get into their box, and they can see the penalty to us. But it's not they won't score. We do score from it. Because that's how
okay, so you're going C. We're going to C. We're going to score off the penalty.
Go on, why not? Yeah.
Why not? All right. I think the
after their corner and us breaking in open play from the corner, and then it's a penalty. That's what's going to go down.
I think it's going to come down to a penalty. It's not the penalty. A corner kick, something set piece type thing. Those are questions. Open play. Bonkers has it. Bernie has it. Coming off a set piece from a corner. Verge doing his captain's thing. Kevin has it as an own goal. Is how we're going to get the party started. Okay. These two teams head to head have an interesting record. 14 home games. I spoke on it in the intro. 14 home games. 7 wins, 7 draws. But Arsenal are unbeaten in their last 5 overall games versus us. They've got 2 wins and 3 draws against us in the last 5 times we played them. It's their best run in over a decade against us, at least. I don't know if it tells the entire story, but it definitely tells a story. Arsenal haven't won at Anfield in nearly 12 years. And this time they're facing the champions on our pitch. And while coming off a demoralizing Champions League exit, they're going to have to give us that guard of honor as well. I know that's going to hurt their pride a little bit as well to do. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But the Optus supercomputer, like I said, I like to look at that sometimes. It has them, the odds of them winning are 27.7%. That chance that they'll win against us tomorrow. You got to factor in obviously the crowd, the record, Salah, maybe even Hatta. You factor in that into that. What was your favorite Liverpool versus Arsenal moment at Anfield? What has been your favorite Liverpool versus Arsenal moment at Anfield? Tell us in the chat. I'm going to ask the panel. Bernie's rejoined the chat because she was having problems with her microphone. So definitely looking forward to hearing what Bernie has to say. And I'll begin with Brian this time. What was your favorite Liverpool versus Arsenal moment at Anfield?
Oh, you're going to break my pedantic English brain, dude.
Okay.
Sorry.
I know Norm has one. I know Norm has one.
No. You're going to be really annoyed with me. I'm not picking at you. Because I had this exact same conversation with someone yesterday. And I know it's not what you do. I'm just saying it's versus, not verse. All I'm going to say.
Okay.
It's versus. I had the same
What's
conversation.
What's your favorite Liverpool against Arsenal moment at Anfield? How about that?
A verse is something you find in a song or a poem. Versus. Liverpool versus Arsenal. At Anfield. You see, because the thing is, one was like, there was one really, my favorite one was like when I was here. I think it's actually this room I'm in at the moment. Ages ago. And one of my Arsenal friends traveled down from, about an hour and a half away to watch us play them. But I think that one was at the Emirates. Oh, and we smashed him. And he's like, that when I was with my friend who was an Arsenal fan, it's this guy. And then there was also the time I traveled up to his house in Galway, and he had all the made big deal out of him. We absolutely smashed him as well. I think one of them, that one, the second one was the Mane debut. When he cut inside, he scored that goal. I think was that at Anfield?
No, that was away, wasn't it? When he did that?
Because I think the first, so it would have to be that first time. Literally, an Arsenal fan traveled an hour and a half to come to my house to watch us play them. All the talk for 2 days about how we're going to beat them, and we just, I think it was 3-0, 3-1.
Excellent.
Yeah, the Mane one though.
Yeah, for a moment,
that was a great one.
For the single goal, like that was great, wasn't it? The way he's done that.
Probably other than that, Robbie Fowler, the Fowler hat trick.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I never thought also.
Yeah, I know that's going back a long time, but I mean, the Fowler hat trick.
Yeah, that was special though.
Until it was broken by the player, the record that was broken by the player we've just been speaking about, Sadio Mane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose that's got to be the most iconic for me. Yeah, the Fowler is 3.5 minute hat trick. He went full Ronnie O'Sullivan on it and just said bang, bang, bang.
Tell you a win over Arsenal I really enjoyed. I think I'm fairly positive that it was the 13-14 season when we nearly won it under Brendan. We beat them 5-1 at Anfield, and we absolutely pasted them. It could have been we could have scored many more goals, but it was 5-1. I think Koscielny got one for them, but Suarez and Sturridge just decimated them, just tore them apart, with the help of a couple of other players. It's just a really fabulous performance. I really enjoyed that one. Yeah, I think it was the 13-14 season and we won 5-1, but it could have been many more. But we just slapped them about effortlessly. That Mertesacker was all over the place as well in that game.
Mhm.
I think he was in it, yeah. But anyway, it was a really good performance from us against them that I enjoyed. One of my favourites. But we've had many. We've slapped Arsenal loads of times at Anfield over the years, like fours and that. Done loads of fours on Arsenal in Cup and League. But I did like that 5-1 from 13-14. I'll pick that one.
Sorry, of course. Doug is here from the Dugout Football Channel. I just want to say hello. I was watching Doug's show earlier on. He's a great man. Haven't seen him stream live in a while, so good to see you, Doug. Good seeing the chat. He was on the other night. Well, he's on my show down. He hasn't given his answer. Oh, I'm saying
He has. He gave his answer was the same.
Yeah.
I think his answer was the same as mine.
Oh,
actually.
this one. Yeah.
I have to. Okay, I was about to put in one.
4-1, I think maybe.
I think this is what I was talking about. That he's
Arteta scored as well, I think.
13-14. Yeah, well, it was 5-1.
Yeah, we
I
beat
thought it was Chelsea, but it wasn't. It must have been Lego getting a pen.
No, Scarlett scored the opening 2 goals. Scarlett scored the first 2, and we went 4-0 up, and then Arteta
That's it, yeah.
actually got the penalty at the end, scored a penalty. So that was a good win.
Didn't Suarez at the post outrageously in that game? From like it was what he done was it was a mental one of his mental ones, but it hit the post and come back out. But there was a few more we could have scored on that day. Like we did, just batter them. My dear old Arkham was still in charge. Old Turkey Neck himself.
I think there was one other one I was going to put into this poll for you guys. Oh yeah, that's because it was already in there. I don't know if we can put that in there. I'll put it in there though. Still, maybe get some sympathy votes. Give me 1 second to put that part in there. I think that was this one. Okay, so let's see who wins this poll here. Make another poll here. Asked, what was your favorite Liverpool versus Arsenal moment at Anfield? Robbie Fowler. I know that was a hot one. His hat trick. The 5-1 Skirtle and Sterling masterclass. There could be also, I think the one I have at 4-4. I think that's the one that I think that's 2009. I want to say. El Nino had a brace in that game. I'm gonna double check though. Because that was the game that they scored 4 goals on us, but it was by what's his name? Andre. What's his last name? Arshavin.
Oh yeah, Arshavin. Yeah, when he got 4. Did he get 5?
No, he got 4. He got 4 that game. That was a wild game.
Yeah,
it was a wild game.
Was,
but we ended up drawing that game 4-4.
That Neil Mellor winner was good against them. Was that the 2004? Was that the? Yeah, it was. It was the Istanbul season, wasn't it? Remember Neil Mellor scored that winner at Anfield. I can't remember who scored that first goal that they equalised, and then Mellor got the winner. That was a good one because Arsenal were really good still then, obviously.
But my favorite moment was the Bobby. It wasn't unfortunately in front of any fans really. So I think that was pretty much at the peak. I don't know if they had fans in the stadium yet or not for that game, but the Bobby hat trick was one of my favorite moments to see against That was the game where he basically did the samba. He did a samba lesson on the pitch against Arsenal that game, and absolutely did a look away goal. I think that was for the third. He did the look away. Yeah,
Cheers, no.
That was the best. Oh yes, okay. Oh, you're talking about the
Yeah,
there.
the one where Mella got the winner. I couldn't remember who scored first, but it was a lovely one from Alonso too. I can see it in my mind's eye now, just from the edge of the box, little daisy cutter.
Yeah,
It was a good victory over Arsenal, that wasn't it? Like in Rafa's first season, we've got a strong Arsenal team.
Yeah. Well, do you think because we've had a couple of draws, and I talked about how 5 games we haven't beaten them the last 5 games that we played.
They've been difficult and ugly as well, the games. I mean, I hope the fact that there's not that much at stake tomorrow means that the game, can have a bit of life in it, and not have all the life throttled out of it by Arteta.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? I hope he wants to come and show how good his team can be, sort of thing, and play a bit of football.
You would hope, yeah.
And then hopefully we'll be up to the challenge and say, yeah, we see that and we'll raise another 10%.
Yeah, you would hope that we'd be able to do so.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about it, Brian?
For what?
How do you feel about do you think Arsenal has us figured out? Maybe it used to be that we would go in and just run Ramshaw over them.
Oh, you're talking about why we haven't beat them in a while?
Yeah, but in recent years, have they gotten us figured out in recent years, or are those draws, and the likes kind of misleading?
I don't know, actually. No, no, it's an interesting question. I actually don't know. I don't know why they've had our number. And again, a lot of draws would. Oh, okay, it does. We'll get onto it. I haven't predicted anything yet. Suggest kind of teams that are either evenly matched or kind of sometimes stylistically matched.
Mm-hmm.
If you get what I mean. If you get a lot of draws against teams, I think we're kind of probably, they finished second. We finished third. The last two, before the last two, they finished second. So evenly matched teams. Again, Klopp taking the foot off the accelerator a little bit, trying to play more control type football. So probably to do with that, stylistic changes, evenly matched teams. I definitely don't think it's to do with them having figured us out kind of thing. But it seems just a couple of stalemate teams, but that is quite a few draws, to be honest, especially in the Premier League. There's usually a bit more something will happen or whatever. But that's probably the way I would look at it.
Okay. Well, I see everyone's trying to get to that prediction status or prediction part of this show. So let's just jump right into this. Get into the predicted lineups, talk a little tactical talk as well, and then we'll get your predictions on scores. For Arsenal, I think they'll go strong, despite the fact that they're still probably reeling from the loss. I think Arteta knows this is about pride. I think Arteta knows even more so with being peppered with the question about has this season been a step forward or a step back for Arsenal? And he's openly come out to say it has been a step backwards. He's also come out as far as to say that he thinks his team was the best team in the Champions League. So you never know what you're going to get from Arteta when it comes to his choice in words. but he could bring on Calafiori. He maybe rotates Ben White, who did get into that game against PSG late. Martinelli might make way for Trossard. Gabriel Jesus is obviously out. Tomiyasu and Kai Havertz are both out as well. They're not going to be involved in this one. But let me bring up what the Opta computer thinks it's going to be. Now, this is what they think it's going to be. They think it's going to be Marino, up at their striker position. Martinelli on the left, Saka on the right, Rice, Partey, and Odegaard in that midfield. Lewis Skelly, Kiwior, Saliba, Timber, and Raya as their lineup. I'll ask you this question because I saw something recently on Sport Bible. Had an Arsenal, obviously this Arsenal game is going to bring out the Arsenal versus Liverpool content creators. And on that show, they were speaking on subjects about like the team. And they went as far as to say that and you expect it, but an Arsenal content creator went as far as to say that he believes that Arsenal's midfield is a better midfield than Liverpool's midfield. Do you agree with that, Brian?
My favorite questions. What a content creator said. Dude, yeah, I don't care what he said, but do they have a better midfield than us?
I know you don't care, but just
no, I just have to put it. I know, but I have to speak my mind. I don't give a fuck what any of these people think or say or talk about. But do we have a better midfield than them? Is a genuine question. Yeah, I think we do. Yeah, I mean, Odegaard this season has dropped off a lot last season. Yes, Rice, look, he's a great box-to-box player. As much as I slag him off and all that stuff.
Fourth place player of the year.
Yeah, he's a great box-to-box footballer. You know, he can put in he puts in good set pieces, all of that. But he's not. He's not some like Dustin saying he's way overrated. I'm just saying he's probably rated. He's not underrated. He's not overrated. He's good.
I would love if Rice was on our team. I'd be happy.
Everyone would love him. Everyone would love him if he was on our team. Yeah, well, I wouldn't, but a lot of people would. Partey, look, I couldn't be having it. I couldn't be getting involved with someone like that. Jorginho, decent backup. Odegaard, but no, I think Gravenberch, Mac, and as much as Szoboszlai has kind of dropped off in terms of contributions in the attacking sense, he's still a great player. He's still working really hard. So I think ours will go. Yeah, I think our front, what you consider to be our first choice midfield, which would be Ryan McAllister and Szoboszlai, up against what I consider to be theirs, which would be Partey, Rice, and Odegaard. I would definitely think ours was a better midfield. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a tough one to probably swallow for them this year because obviously Gabriel has had an injury and he's been out for bits and pieces of the season. Like Konaté has been too. So if you were to make the argument of who's had the better center half pairing, do you still think that Saliba and Gabriel were an argument or still an argument to say that they're the better center back pair, or do you still think that BVD and Konaté hold that title? I'll ask that of Lee.
As for the midfield, maybe that Arsenal fella was like meaning with the acquisition of Zubimendi too, they've got a better midfield.
No, he said he went through it.
Oh, right. It's the 3-on-3 part. Okay, that's quite bold of him. The league table suggests otherwise. as it does with the two centre-back partnerships. But what I will
No,
say...
they have a good midfield. They have a good midfield. Though. That midfield is a
yeah,
very good
Saliba
midfield.
and
Partey's
Gabriel.
good. Odegaard's had a down year, but Odegaard's a good player. Partey is a good player. Rice is a good player.
As far as Saliba and Gabriel go up against Ibu and VVD, I think Saliba and Gabriel have played together a bit more, haven't they? Because the amount of time Ibu's spent out injured since he's been here. He's still not played with Virgil enough times to get the partnership. I think their partnership is probably a bit better, yeah, because it's more long-standing. But like ours will get better as long as Ibu stays fit and carries on playing with Virgil.
Okay.
But I do like them too. I like Saliba and Gabriel's partnership. I think it's an excellent centre-back pairing. Yeah, big fan of that.
Well, let me show you what this is what Optic Computer thinks we're going to do tomorrow. I don't have the same lineup that they do on here. They went with Hata as our center forward. They went with Hakpo. They went with Salah. They went with Dom in the 10. Then they want Curtis Jones and Gravenberch, which is an interesting one. They don't have Maka in it. Robbo, Van Dijk, Quansah, Bradley, and then Ali in goal. I personally went with a different lineup than this. I went with Ali. I went with Bradley, Quansah, Van Dijk, but I went with Tsimikas in this one. I went with Endo as our DM. Maybe a nice option. McAllister push it more, have Endo be more of an anchor DM, and have McAllister push forward to kind of do some work and get involved in the offense. Szoboszlai, I have doing a lot of, doing the legwork that needs to do for Salah to be able to, cherry pick a little bit. And then I have the front line of Salah. I have Hata, but rather than Hakpo starting, I have Diaz starting. I love Agent Cody. However, I just think that with the history that they've had against this team, Lucho destroys Arsenal. Hata, one of the few teams one of the definite teams, that you should say you look for some type of a turn for the better, it would be against Arsenal. They hate playing against Hata when it comes to he usually definitely gets a goal or two against this team. And Salah speaks for itself. We spoke on how this is the third highest team he scored his goals against. So I would think putting our three biggest and worst threats against them would be the way I would go. What do you see about this lineup? Is this okay for you, or what do you have different? I'll go to let's go with Lee first, then we'll go to Brian.
I play Ibu and McAllister. And I keep it like that. No, I wouldn't actually. I'll bring Diaz in instead of Jota. Bring in Ibu for Quansah, McAllister for Jones, and Diaz for Jota. And we'll do it that way. We'll go with them like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see.
How about for you, Brian?
What's my predicted lineup?
Or is it the same as the one I have up, or is it different in any way, or different from mine, or different from this one? I can show that.
Yeah,
if you want to see the lineup, I can bring it up. Please.
No, I don't. I think someone fell asleep with their face on the keyboard when they were doing that.
When you're doing this lineup, okay.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah,
Which one?
they can just
Which one
whatever they think. Yeah, Mr.
Because of the
Opta
Curtis
is just,
Jones?
no,
You're
I
saying-
just that up these Opta people. I mean, if it,
Yeah, I understand.
they're just their predictions don't make a lot of sense to me half the time.
Yeah.
I would probably go. obviously you said Bradley's going to start.
Mhm.
Evo, there's nothing wrong with Evo. I don't know why Quansah, but yeah, I'm not going to argue with the supercomputer. I hate the supercomputer. I would go with Evo. Well, the thing is, you see, the reason I hate the supercomputer is because the first newspaper to introduce the supercomputer into the public kind of consciousness was a certain newspaper that we don't talk about,
Okay. All right.
and they've always been the. I just whenever I hear that word, I think of that newspaper.
Right.
I would go Robbo. See, that's the thing. This left back. See, look, we just got our arses handed to us by Chelsea, right? We're the league champions, pride, playing at home. He made a few changes, he made a few bits and pieces, and we absolutely got our arses handed to us by Chelsea. So there's no way he's going to want to walk out in front of the Anfield crowd and go clapping after we get bet 3-0 by Arsenal going, hey, you all know what I mean. I played keys, I played the kids because we want. No, he's going to want to go out there now and I think put on a strong performance. He's not going to want to get beaten by Arsenal at Anfield. He's not going to lose any game, even if we won the league and the Champions League. He's not going to be writing anything off. He's got a sense of pride, as should the players. So I'm actually expecting a fairly strong lineup tomorrow. Yeah, Diaz. God knows what he does through the middle. If he wants to play Jota, just go and do it. I don't care anymore at this stage. Darwin, Jota, yeah, they're all, to be honest, look, it's
Okay.
pretty yeah, who cares? Mo on the right, Diaz on the left, Dom in the middle, Mac, Grav, Ibu, Verge, Bradley, Robbo, Allison, and go out there and just beat these. Pretend you can get into their heads, pretend it's a Champions League final or something. None of this, after the Lord's Mayor show, we've all had a few champagnes. It doesn't matter. It bloody does matter. It's Arsenal at Anfield. It's the champions year. Like I know JK saying you want to win all the coach or all the games, before the parade to make sure you go out on high. Okay, yeah, you can't do that, but we've lost one against Chelsea, so you need to go out and make sure you do it. So I'm expecting a strong team and a bit of pride, basically, because they're not used to losing games. So I don't want like a guard of honor onto the pitch and then Arsenal fans applauding their teams off the pitch when they won. No. I'd rather take a win and no guard of honor than a guard of honor and then beat us 3-0 because we phoned in a performance. Let's make sure we get back on track now and make that 18 points. You're saying it's 15 points. Let's make it 18. Let's see if we can't be 20. Yeah, let's see if we can't be 20 points out.
Well, I think it'll be. I would love to see this happen because if this happens, then that Newcastle game that Arsenal have coming up after this is even that more important.
Big game.
Yeah, and they have not played well against Newcastle. Newcastle has performed decently,
especially with City dropping points today has opened up that race. That's opened up. Yeah, that has opened up that race for kind of second, third, fourth, fifth. If City had won today, but now they've dropped points. Villa can win. Villa won. Newcastle can win. That's Nottingham Forest play again tomorrow.
I couldn't believe City couldn't get the better of Southampton, right?
Oh, shocking. Absolutely shocking. No, but Lee, you can lose a mad one. You can lose a mad one, like a 3-3 or 4-4, but a 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, we struggled down Southampton, but we did win. You know what I mean? Ours was the international break. You know what I mean? We come straight back off the international break and struggled there, but we did score 3 goals. We could see the 2 piss poor ones. But you had a 0-0, and I never expected that.
That's poor. That is really poor.
Kevin De Bruyne got the game of the player of the game.
Yeah, he looked like he stood out, like he had a decent game, but a few good free kicks in, appeal for a pen and all that, didn't he? But, a bit like the old De Bruyne, like getting involved and that. But I think their last 2 games are quite easy, though, aren't they?
Full 90 too, by the way. Full 90.
Man City's last 2.
I Can't remember what they are.
What are Man City's last 2 games?
Mm-hmm.
Man City's last 2 games are against
Everton let me down by letting Ruddy City win at
Bournemouth at home, and they play Bournemouth at home, and then they go on the road to Fulham.
Yeah,
But they do have a very big. Maybe this was because he was trying to. I don't know. That's like a whole week away from today. Actually, I don't think that's like.
they had a little pop at Haaland today. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
Guardiola had it. Well, Haaland made a comment, and then Pep had a bit of a pop back at him because Haaland kind of said, basically said, "What's the crack?" Someone said to him, "What's the crack this season?" Like, and he said, "Well, look, I think some of the players lost the hunger. I think we lost the hunger.
That's what Haaland said.
That's what Haaland said. Yeah, he came out and I can't remember exactly. And then someone said that to Pep Guardiola. Someone said to Pep Guardiola, "So what do you think about Haaland saying that some of the players have lost the hunger?" And he said,
it may have lost something in translation.
So he
like
said,
what he said,
Let him finish.
Yeah, so he just said, so someone says to him, "So what do you think about Haaland saying some of the players have lost the hunger this year?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Sorry, what?" Well, if he said that, then those players need to take a serious look at themselves and ask themselves why. Just because if someone's saying telling me they've lost the hunger, and this is what he's saying to the journalist, you need to. Well, so can you imagine what he say to him in private? You telling me sit down with him in the dressing room and say, "Oh, boss, we lost the hunger this year. You lost the Get the fuck out. Get
You
out of here."
You realize though, if it's only if they could perform like they did today against Arsenal on the final game, because Arsenal goes to Southampton on that final day. They have Newcastle at the Emirates. They have us obviously at Anfield, but they have Newcastle at the Emirates. And then they have Southampton at Southampton. And if they were to have 2 losses and a draw, they could get knocked out of the top 5.
It would take a fair bit, yeah, but they're close to it.
They're very.
It would have to be catastrophic, but
I don't know. That big the Villa winning at Bournemouth was big today. I didn't get all my picks there right. I did not have Chelsea, or excuse me, I did not have not Chelsea, excuse me. I did not see the the game we're just talking about, the City game going 0-0 against Southampton. But Ipswich was a tight game, 1-0. But Villa now sits with 63 points. Chelsea on 63 points. Newcastle 63 points. City at 65 points, having played 1 game more than everyone else, other than Villa. And then 67 points is where Arsenal sit. Yeah, every team is in pretty much striking distance.
Oh, it's all about one result.
I think Chelsea.
This is one result game.
Yeah, Newcastle plays Chelsea. That's the only thing that's in maybe Arsenal's favor is the fact that Newcastle and Chelsea play each other. So that's going to.
There you go. Someone's going to drop points.
Yeah, someone's going to drop points in that one. So that's going to possibly, I don't know, possibly do it. Let me see, 64. So let's say Chelsea. There was there is a website where you can put in like your predicted results, and they'll tell you what the point tallies would be. But if Arsenal were to, let's say, go 2 losses and a draw, that would be 68 points. Then let's say City win their last 2 games, that would have City at 71 points. If Newcastle and Chelsea both draw, they'd have 64. And Newcastle plays, obviously Newcastle playing Arsenal would be huge. And that would have to be with one of those losses. So if Newcastle's final 2 games are Everton at home, or they play at home against Everton, and they play on the road against Arsenal, and they have Chelsea. Obviously, if they were to get 1 point, they'd have 64. If they get the 2 wins, they'd have 70 points. So that would be above 68. So you'd have City and Newcastle passing them. Can Villa get there? Villa has Spurs at home, and then they go on the road to Old Toilet. That would give, they can win their last 2 games. That would give them 69 pause, and that would be 1 point more than Arsenal. And then Chelsea has, in their final 2 matches, they have I said Newcastle. They have United at home, and then they play Forest. Chelsea has a really tough schedule at the end of the season.
Yeah, Chelsea's running's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, that might save them. And what's wild about it? Can I say this? What is super, super wild about it? And this is a shout out to Wolfie. I do enjoy Wolfie's conversations sometimes. He's a little bit of a troll sometimes, but it is funny to hear him speak. It is a case where his Forest team now sit with 61 points. They are in 7th place, and they have a favorable run towards the end. They have Leicester tomorrow. They have West Ham away, and then they have Chelsea at home. So maybe they get back in it. I'd be interested to see what people think is going to how this top 7 is going to drop into form.
Be ready for craziness. Just
Okay.
be ready for craziness. The last couple of games of the season, this is what always happens. You need to stop. We need to drop the predictions chat at this stage, because this is anything can happen kind of stage of the season. These are the games, like nobody's predicting Southampton getting a draw against City. These kind of ones, I'm just going to sit back. I'm not saying nobody needs to do predictions, but I'll just sit back and watch, because these are the ones where, oh my, you'll be watching and saying like, boom, like you're sitting here and then bang, last minute, Leicester get a goal against Forest. Everything changes. 2 points, massive. That's the only thing, like, that's actually, even on the final day of the season, we're probably still going to have something to watch, because everyone is relegated. Everyone that's, going to win stuff has won it. So it's going to be the last kind of, it will be one of those games that something will happen in a game, and it will go from Chelsea have gone from 3rd to 5th, and City have gone from 2nd to 4th, and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. It'll be like the lads are saying there, like Leicester are going to be playing Forest. 9 times out of 10, this Forest team beats Leicester, but that Leicester side would love nothing more than to fuck up Forest's chances of getting into the Champions League. That'll just be that. So there'll be a lot of kind of I think there'll be a couple of crazy results. I still think it'll drop down to us, the City, Arsenal, and Chelsea.
Okay.
And Newcastle. I think that'll be the 5. Newcastle, Chelsea, Arsenal, City, Liverpool. I think that'll be the 5. I think Villa and Forest will just miss out. But if we beat Arsenal tomorrow,
okay.
people
Well,
might smell blood.
hopefully Norm is still part of this part of the audience, because that's definitely the Mighty Reds out there ringer when it comes to trivia. But before we get into that, because that's where we're going to go to next, quick assessment. What's your answer to this to the audience poll that I have in up. I see that Edward's going Grav, Mac, Adam. Lee's going Mac, Dom, Grav, or Endo. Dustin's going Mac, Endo, and Leone. Okay, that's if you do have another, variation of it. That's why D exists. You can put in your own answer. Okay, Norm, good to see you're still here for sure. You're going to enjoy some of these questions. You can definitely fact check me as we go along too. Kevin's got it. Grav, Mac, Dom, subs after we go 3 up for, I guess, to get 20 minutes or so of playing time. All right. Who would you go with, Lee? Would you go if you had to go? I see Brian put his answer in the chat.
Yeah, just what we've normally had, the usual 3 of
Okay, you'll have the usual.
Yeah, I'll have the usual. Yeah,
The
the usual. Yes.
All right.
Nothing special. Same as ever.
Right. Dom, Mac, and Grav. I got you. All right. Well, let's get into this trivia here because we're almost up on the 2-hour mark here. What we'll do is I will go and do this. Hold on 1 second. Let's see.
You have to turn off the chat.
It would be turn off the chat. Definitely. Don't cheat.
It's one of those. Okay, I'd like to know what's coming.
Yeah. Because the chat can play along too, but this is we're gonna go mano y mano. We're gonna go Brian versus the Irishman versus Scouse Lee. And
Exactly.
the chat, the versus.
Versus.
And we're going to allow for the chat to play along too, but I'll give you credit for where credit's due in the chat. But here is our trivia questions. All right. Who wants to go first? You have any?
Let Lee go first.
All right. Lee, your question.
As we agreed earlier on.
Yeah. Let me make sure. Oh, I forgot to get the predictions. We'll get predictions at the end of this. We'll get predictions right before we end the show. But I definitely wanted to get this part in as well. Trying to get this up so I can keep score. Your question is this, Lee. How many consecutive home games have Liverpool gone unbeaten against Arsenal in all competitions? I'll give you multiple choice for these first portions.
Hang on.
I'll give
How
you
many
multiple
games
choice.
we got unbeaten against them?
Yes.
What's the longest unbeaten run we've ever had against Arsenal? You're asking me in all competitions.
Not
right?
That's yes. How many consecutive home games have Liverpool gone unbeaten against Arsenal in all competitions? As of this is like a current streak that we're on right now. I'll give you 8 questions. Do you want multiple choice or not? If you ask for multiple choice, I'll give you 1 point for getting it right. If you don't want multiple choice, I'll give you 2 points. How about that? I think that's fair.
I'm still a little bit mixed up on it. Isn't meant to be guessing how many times we've beat Arsenal in a row.
No, what's our longest winning streak in all comps at home?
At home against Arsenal.
Okay.
And we're currently on it, apparently. We're currently on that streak.
If you guys were listening to the broadcast, I already said this as a stat. So, but all right. This isn't all time, by the way. It's just current. What is our current record? We're on a current streak.
What's our current record?
Yeah,
okay, that's different. No, what's our longest?
Not our
what's
longest.
the current?
How many
the one we're on
consecutive home
currently.
games how many consecutive home games have Liverpool gone unbeaten against Arsenal in all competitions currently?
Okay.
God, when the last time they won at Anfield.
Yeah, I know you said it earlier on. Not to put any pressure on Lee or anything.
I don't even know if Lee was listening to me when I said it. Probably. So.
I wasn't. This is all
course he
news
was.
to me.
You see what I'm saying?
I missed that bit. Okay.
All right. Ask for multiple choice. I'll give you multiple choice. Is it
Okay,
A
Yeah, give him the
10?
multiple choice.
Is it B 12? Is it C 14? Or is it D 16?
So just
3.
say them again. What's the first one?
A is 10, B is 12, C is 14, D is 16. It's one of those 14.
I would say 14.
Yes. 14 is correct. We are undefeated against. We're unbeaten in 14 games against Arsenal at home.
Okay. So what year was that when the last one on Anfield?
2011 was the last time they beat us.
Uh-huh.
All right. So you said 14, right? Okay, so I'll give you 1 point for that. All right, you're up. Brian, Liverpool have currently won how many consecutive matches at Anfield?
Oh, multiple choice.
Okay, multiple choices: 5, 6, 7, or 8.
All comps, right?
Mm-hmm.
Six.
6 would be incorrect. 7. It is 7. It's 7. How many games are Arsenal winless in coming into this match? How many games are Arsenal winless against Liverpool coming into this match? A lot of these first 8 are questions I've already told you the stats. So, and if you want multiple choice, I have multiple choice if you need it.
That's your question. Mate.
That's your question, Lee.
Oh, right. I thought it was going to be for the chat or something. Sorry, say it again, that one.
How many games are Arsenal winless in coming into this match? Or it's not against Liverpool too, by the way. It's just in their current run of form. You asked me this question, Lee, so you should know this answer. You literally asked me to look it up.
5.
So what are you gonna go with? 5?
5. It is 5, isn't it?
Oh no, it would not be. It'd be 4.
4.
They beat Ipswich in the past 5 games. They beat Ipswich, then they drew against Palace, lost against PSG, lost against Bournemouth, lost against PSG. The answer would be 4. All right. Let me put that down for you. All right. So we still got a match here. Brian, if Mo Salah scores in this match, he will equal the club record for most league goals versus Arsenal, held by which former Liverpool player? And I have multiple choice for this one too. If Mo Salah scores in this match, he will equal the club record for most league goals versus Arsenal, held by which former Liverpool player?
Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
Premier League only.
I don't know if it's Premier League only because the multiple choice has they played in the Premier League, but it wouldn't be just for the Premier League, I don't think.
What's the score?
He has 11. Oh, what's the score?
Yeah.
1-0.
I'll take the multiple.
All right, multiple choices: Michael Owen, B, Ian Rush, C, Robbie Fowler, or D, Roberto Firmino.
Yeah, because like you were saying, Rush did play in the Premier League. Yeah, I'll say Bobby Firmino.
That would be correct. Bobby's got a gang of goals against Arsenal. We
Well,
just talked
yeah,
about
that's the thing. I was just wondering if it was because if it wasn't Premier League and it was including Rush,
that. Mhm.
if it was, but I was thinking maybe, yeah, they were all Premier League players.
Mhm.
It's if there'd been a other random older dude, but yeah, I know Bobby scored a fuckload of goals against Arsenal, basically.
Mhm. He is
Loves it,
Arsenal.
loves it. So he
Loves
does.
the game against Arsenal. Yeah, loves the game against
Yeah,
Arsenal.
loves it.
All right, Lee. Virgil van Dijk is about to reach which major milestone in his Premier League career? What major milestone in his Premier League career is Virgil van Dijk about to embrace? I have multiple choice if you need it.
Is it a 200 game?
Is that what you want to guess, or you want to go multiple choice?
Go on, give him multiple choice then.
Okay. 250 appearances, 300 appearances, 200 appearances for Liverpool, or 100 career wins?
200 appearance.
It would be B. 300 games he has appeared for Liverpool.
Radio. Miles off the hell, aren't
All right. Question 6. Arne Slot is on the verge of holding the highest win percentage in his first full Liverpool season since which year? He is on the verge of having the highest win percentage of any, and this is all time, by the way. This isn't just Premier League, by the way.
Oh, Jesus.
There you go.
Not even which manager, which fucking year.
Which year? Yeah, exactly.
Jesus. Right. Okay. So
This was
who
a tough
came
one.
in?
You might want to go multiple choice for this one. That's tough.
Yeah, but I'm gonna do some background brain work. I want to get my
Backward brain work.
Okay.
Okay, you do.
So who comes in and fucking knocks it out of the park as a manager, win wise? Highest win percentage. That doesn't include others. That doesn't. Fucking hell. So, I mean, right, go on then. Obviously, yeah. Give me the numbers. Give me the options.
All right. Is it A, 1986? Is it B, 1977? C, 1990? Or is it D, 1894?
I'll go with Kenny.
You're going to go Kenny?
And I'll say, I'll go with the 90.
90. Okay. If you were like Lee, you would have gotten it right. It is 1894.
Oh, fuck that old shit. Oh, yeah. If it was going to be, yeah. Well, fuck that. Yeah.
It was part of it.
I remember. Yeah. Chappy
yeah.
McChap face scored a load of fucking, yeah. Will
It's all
Fotheringham,
right. That's all right.
Fotheringham the fifth. Was
Will
in goal.
Adam.
Come on, that should have been right on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. This one is these next two are kind of these are gimmies. You shouldn't need a multiple choice for this. This one's for Lee. Who is the referee for Liverpool's match at Anfield tomorrow?
Good luck.
If you need a multiple choice, I have multiple choice for it.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's have a multiple choice.
All right. Is it going to be Michael Oliver? It's going to be Anthony Taylor. Is it going to be Paul Tierney? Or is it going to be Chris Kavanaugh? D.
I'm just going to guess they'll be bold. That's all I'm going to guess.
They'll be bald. Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for that utter dickhead Anthony Taylor. I think he's going to be the ref for some reason. I can just see his stupid face running around.
Well, sure. Well, I guess then watch the game with both eyes closed because you are correct. It is going to be Anthony Taylor as our referee for tomorrow.
Good guess.
That was a good guess.
No, it just has a feeling for it, man. Yeah.
No, you didn't. You just guessed the name. You didn't have a
Yeah. You know what I'm saying.
Come on. What's my ridiculously hard
random
question? Then?
No, your one's easy. What has Mikel Arteta confirmed Arsenal will do before kickoff to honor Liverpool's title win? Is it applaud from the bench? Oh, my fault. Do you want to give a multiple choice, or do you want?
No, he has confirmed that he will give us a guard of honor. So 2 points, please.
Yes, you get the 2 points.
So I think that makes it 3-2 to me.
Yes, it does. 3-2. All right, here's where it's going to get interesting, people. This is going to be a very fun part. This is where you might want to call on the ringers out there like Norm and Bernie, your Lees and your Dustins out there that tend to get these correct. This is not multiple choice. I do not have any multiple choice answers for this. I will ask you this. This is round 1, classic clashes. There's 5 questions in each round. So I will ask who wants to go first.
Oh, I thought we were going kind of.
Oh, do you want to keep the same record? You want to keep the same?
Yeah, sure. That makes it fair. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to ask you this. Classic clashes. Here it is. Who scored a brace for Liverpool?
This is for you, Lee.
This is for you, Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Who scored a brace for Liverpool in the 2001 FA Cup final versus Arsenal?
Michael Owen.
Michiel.
Should I keep these all? Should I keep them 2 points? I guess since there's no.
Yeah, keep it at 2 because there's no thing. Yeah,
there's no 1 to go to. That's why. Yeah. Maybe if you want, maybe you could do. If you don't know it, then maybe you could steal the question. Maybe we'll do it like that. You steal it, you get 1 point. All right. Who scored a hat? Just for you, Brian. Who scored a hat trick for Arsenal in April 2004 at Highbury in a 4-2 win?
Oh fuck. 2004. Who scored a hat trick for Arsenal in a 4-2 win in 2004? Fuck. Okay. I mean, if I've got. Obviously, there's no multiple choice on this.
There's no multiple choice.
I don't know it. I don't know it. I couldn't say for a fact who it was. So, the first
and be
player
sure,
that
Lee,
came in.
Lee, don't have your chat open, by the way.
Yeah,
no,
the first
player that came. Click the private chat, just so you know. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. 2004. I think Henry was. No. I'm gonna say Freddie Ljungberg.
It's a good guess. That'll be incorrect, though. You have a chance to steal, Lee.
Was it Thierry Henry?
It is Henry.
Oh, it was Henry. Oh, this is my. I always goes with the last 2. Obviously.
Yeah, and then you convince yourself that you're wrong. You think it's him, and then
because the obvious answer is Henry, but I was overthinking. Yeah, okay. Don't remember it though. I blanked that memory of Henry banging 3 passes from my mind.
I think he obviously he was in a away hit where it was at Anfield, wasn't it? You were saying that. Was that when?
No, he's saying at Highbury.
Highbury. I seem to have a memory of him scoring a hat-trick against us in that away hit of theirs. That was like a weird colour. Anyway, whatever.
Lee,
I do remember
this one's for you. One's for you, Lee. Who scored a 92nd minute winner for Liverpool in November 2004 at Anfield?
Neil Mallett.
All right, so that would be correct.
That was in your okay.
Yeah.
That was in one of your
there.
polls,
It was one of my highlights
I
before.
know, I got you. Just making sure you're listening. All right, next question. Who scored 4 goals for Arsenal in the 6-3 League Cup win at Anfield, January 2007? This is for you, Brian.
Was it Adebayor?
No, it would not be. Is that your answer? I'm sorry. That was your answer, I take it?
Well, no, take it. Okay, take it. Yeah.
Or if that wasn't, I'll give you. If I
No.
went too fast, go ahead. Yeah, I'll give you another shot.
2007. For fuck's sake. This should be really obvious. I thought it was Adebayor. Bit too early for Adebayor. Because our Shaban's the 4-4. Let's go 4 goals.
This is the 6-3 League Cup win at Anfield, January 2007. You have a guess, Brian?
Well, before that. It's way too early for Adebayor. No, I can't think.
I'll give Lee one shot at trying to steal. Who would you say?
Was it Jose Reyes?
No, that's not. Baptista.
Oh fuck you!
Julio Baptista.
Yeah, no, now that Julio
Didn't you say that
Baptista.
for the other answer too? You gave him as the other answer too, right? Did you give him as the answer?
No, Julio Baptista. I hope he's not. Completely forgotten about him at Arsenal. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally forgot that.
All right. Well, let's try this one out. This is for you, Lee. Who scored a 102nd minute penalty for Liverpool in April 2011 to draw 1-1 at the Emirates?
What minute did you say?
102nd.
That's a lot of injury time.
A lot of injury time. In an era that didn't really have that much injury time, really.
Yeah,
like
what year was that?
2011. April 2011. It ended up being a draw. Who scored the 102nd minute penalty for Liverpool in April 2011 to draw 1-1 at the Emirates?
Gerrard.
That would be incorrect.
Suarez.
No, don't guess another one. Brian, you have the opportunity to steal on this one.
I know. Sorry. One sec.
Okay. Oh, no worries.
Sorry. What did they say?
Who scored he said Stevie G. That would be
Penalty, right?
This will be who scored a 102nd minute penalty for Liverpool in April 2011 to draw 1-1 at the Emirates. I'll just read. I'm laughing at the chat. Chat's undefeated. Big up, Abdul, by the way. Just an opportunity to steal.
Daniel Sturridge.
Ooh, I thought you would have had this one. Dirk Kuyt.
Oh, okay, yeah. He's
all right. Yeah. Let's go into round 2. Let's do round 2 here. I call it Modern Mayhem. This is round 2, Modern Mayhem. This one is this one's for you, Lee. Who scored a perfect hat trick for Liverpool in a 4-1 win over Arsenal in March 2007? Who scored a perfect hat trick for Liverpool in a 4-1 win over Arsenal in March 2007?
That would be Peter Crouch.
And that would be correct. Very well done. Very well done. Brian, who scored all 4 goals for Arsenal in the 4-4 draw at Anfield in April 2009?
Andre Arshavin.
There you go. Yeah. Who scored, this is for you, Lee, who scored the winner for Arsenal in July 2020 at the Emirates?
Gabriel Jesus.
No, that would be incorrect, Lee. And Brian, you have a chance to steal this answer. Who scored the winner for Arsenal in July 2020 at the Emirates against Liverpool?
July 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, because of the calendars.
What was her bloody good? I'm gonna say Zinchenko.
And it would be Reece Nelson.
Yeah, I knew it was a random fucker.
Yeah, very random, very random. Okay, so then my question for you, Brian, is
This
who
my
scored
one,
at
yeah.
yeah, this one's yours. Who scored a hat trick for Liverpool in their 5-1 thrashing of Arsenal in December 2018?
Oh, Sadio Mane.
That would be incorrect.
Oh shit. Okay.
Chance to steal. Who scored a hat trick for Liverpool in their 5-1 thrashing of Arsenal in December 2018?
Bobby Firmino.
That would be correct. That would be correct. That was the one that we were talking about earlier. My favorite moment. This one's for you, Lee. Who scored a stoppage time equalizer for Liverpool in the 3-3 draw in January of 2016? Who scored a stoppage time equalizer for Liverpool in the 3-3 draw in January of 2016?
Felipe Coutinho.
That would be incorrect. Incorrect. Brian, you have a chance to steal?
Lallana.
Ooh, no, that would be incorrect too. It would be the answer we're looking for. I'm seeing some answers pile in here. I think only 2 people have answered. 2016 was Joe Allen.
Joe. Joe.
Joe Allen, the answer we were looking for. Joe Allen. Even Norm got that one wrong. It's kind of crazy.
Joe. Yeah. The Welsh Xavi. Stop talking, Brendan.
All right.
Just stop talking.
Yeah, there you
The
go.
man, the myth, the legend, the Welsh Xavi.
The Welsh Xavi.
All right, this is the last round here. Who scored Lee, this is for you. Who scored a stoppage time winner for Arsenal in March 2012, at Anfield? Who scored a stoppage time winner for Arsenal in March of 2012 at Anfield? I know it's tough because not all these memories are good memories to remember. So
I remember who they had in 2012.
Well, the chat seems to know.
Did you say
By the way,
December
really
2012? Did you say it was December 2012? Someone scored
March 2012. March.
Like the month is going to make a difference.
I know exactly. It's like what you said.
Well, that might just jog it. No, I can't. No, I can't even think of a player of theirs, and then I could guess it.
All right. I figured, Matt, those are normally your remember when stories. So, all right. How about?
Can I steal it? Can I throw Adebayor at that again?
Oh, that would be incorrect, Brian. It was Robin Van Persie. It was the person.
RVP.
RVP is the one we were looking for. So one more round of nils. All right. How about this one then? This one's your question, Brian. My fault. Who scored a 97th minute equalizer for Liverpool in December 2014's 2-2 Desmond draw? Who scored a 97th minute equalizer for Liverpool in December of 2014 for a Desmond?
December, you say?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Oh man.
What are we going with?
I'll go there. Do you want to go there again? No, I won't go to Lallana again. I'll say Jordan Henderson.
Oof. Martin Skirtle.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I wasn't going defender. I definitely wasn't going defender.
No, that's not. I guess not. All right. I didn't give you a chance to steal. I'm sorry. I was supposed to give you a chance to steal.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Lee. Lee, would you have known that? Be honest.
No.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. All right. Then how about this one? Who scored in the first minute for Liverpool in their 5-1 win against Arsenal in February of 2014? This one's for you, Lee. Who scored in the first minute for Liverpool? In their 5-1? Who did you say? Skirtle? That would be correct. Yes, it would be.
Yeah, that's when we were talking. He scored the first two.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Arteta penalty game.
All right.
I don't know why I remembered it was Koscielny who scored for that. And that must have been another game that he scored in. But yeah, it's that game I was thinking of.
He was shit too. He
wasn't very good, was he? Vermaelen was all right, but suffered with injuries, and Vertonghen was quite a good centre back.
All right.
Yeah, but he never played for Arsenal.
Oh yes. Vertonghen was Spurs. Vermaelen was Arsenal.
Yeah, Vertonghen and Alderweireld, the two Belgians at Spurs, and then you had Vermaelen, the other Belgian at Arsenal.
Yeah.
All right, this is for you, Brian.
The torture hasn't ended yet. I prefer writing the questions than answering.
Who scored a late equalizer for Arsenal in the 1-1 draw in November 2018?
One draw. 2018, which is 7 years ago. No, they were shit 7 years ago. Oh, they were really shit 7 years ago, actually. That's sort of Emre era. Lacazette.
That would be correct.
Yes, get in there.
Get in there for real. I was not expecting that one. That was good. All right. All right. So we have for this final question.
Did anyone in the chat get that?
Let me see if anyone puts that in the chat. No. No one got in the
Who's
chat
your
either.
daddy now, chat? Who's your daddy?
Aubameyang was the only one that got answered.
All these people getting their easy Robbie Fowler answers and all that. I'll give you a Lacazette. There you go.
All right, this is so you have 12 points, Lee, and Brian has 7 points. How many points do you want to risk for this final question?
With me and Lee are tied on 7, is it?
No. You have 12 points, Lee, and Brian have 7. So how many points do you want to make? It's like a Final Jeopardy one.
Yeah, have it winner takes all for the last question. Whoever gets the last question right wins, type of thing.
So put in all 12. I guess I'll
just put in 6.
Okay, you'll put in 6. That'll give you 13. And then how about
so if we both get it wrong, I'll win because Lee's gone all in, but I've still got one left.
Right, exactly. So this is the question. So don't just answer in the private chat, and I'll tell you. Or I guess how we're gonna do this. I'm trying to think how we can do this. I'll tell you the question. I'm still trying to figure out how we can do this. Maybe you can figure out how we can get it so you guys can both get your answers in without being able to cheat or look at each other's answers.
Okay, right. Well, what you can do is the mastermind thing, whereas I will, if you want to ask Lee the question, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will mute. I'll mute you so I can't hear you. I'll mute the laptop.
Okay.
And then Lee can give his answer. And then if you make like a waving signal with your hand, then it's okay for me to come back in.
Okay.
And then I'll give you my answer.
Okay.
Would that work?
Yeah, that works.
Okay, well, I'm about to mute you now. So I'll mute you in 3, 2, 1, mute.
Okay. All right, Lee, this is your question. This is the final question. Who scored a 94th minute equalizer in the League Cup in October 2019 before Liverpool beat Arsenal on penalties? Who scored a 94th minute equalizer in the EFL Cup, the EFL Cup, in October 2019 before Liverpool beat Arsenal on penalties?
Is it Lacazette?
No. It was not. Lacazette? Why did you say Lacazette?
I don't know. I had someone else in mind, and then he just come into me. Who was thinking on first before you?
Lacazette.
Someone in mind. Oh, I had Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Jesus. I had in mind at first.
Lacazette. Oh my goodness. Okay. Brian. Hopefully Brian comes back.
Okay, it's come back.
Okay. It's okay.
I just saw you laughing a lot. Well, I didn't, so I can't wait for this. But anyway.
Yeah. Who scored a 94th minute equalizer in the EFL Cup in October 2019 before Liverpool beat Arsenal on penalties?
Who scored an equalizer in 2019 before we went on to beat them on penalties? 19. I'll say Sadio Mane.
Oh, wow. Now you got to make me have to do math. You both got it wrong. At least yours was a Liverpool player. He said Lacazette.
I thought you meant an equaliser for Arsenal.
He said an Arsenal. Oh, okay. Now I know where you're at.
I was laughing.
I said Lacazette. And then I said Gabriel Jesus. I thought you meant for Arsenal.
Well, no, the maths is simple. He went all in and he lost. I
Yeah.
went in 6 out of 7, so I've got
So
one
you
left
win
and
with
he's
1
got
point.
0 left. So
Well,
I win.
yes. So you got 1 point. Yep.
So my strategy
The
was
answer,
perfect.
the answer to the question would have been so easy if you just put some logic behind it, because it's just not football if it doesn't have Divock Origi in it. Divock Origi scored a 94th minute equalizer to send it to penalties in that League Cup match.
Oh yeah, I thought you meant to equalise for them to take it to pens. I couldn't even.
All right, fair
I
enough.
can't bring that to mind either. Divock equalising late for us, but obviously you can't remember everything, can you?
Minamino was who was that against? Because that was a year Minamino scored. I know which one Norm is thinking of. Minamino, and a lot of people were. Bonkers is thinking of Minamino too.
Well, he's only here one.
Huh?
He was only here 1 year.
No, well, he meaning he had a goal that made it. He scored a late minute goal that ended up pushing it to extra time, and then we ended up going to penalties. And I remember because I think, and Norm, and you guys can probably check me for that, was against Leicester. Okay, yeah. It was the game where we went to penalties, and he actually shot in the penalty. He was a penalty kick taker, but he missed his penalty. And he was devastated that he missed his penalty. But we ended up winning that one too. But
So
yeah,
I win,
and I think that was yes, you won. You definitely won. That might have been the year of the scorpion kick too, by the way.
Got to thank Alexander Lacazette. I got to thank 12th man. I'd like to thank Nolante, even though they're not here. I'd like to thank JK. I'd like to thank Lee for being an incredible opponent. But most of all, I'd like to thank myself. Yeah, I'd like to thank myself and my agent, and I'd like to thank God. But yeah, I'm not winning this on behalf of you. I'm not winning on behalf of myself. I'm winning on behalf of you. That's what I'm doing here tonight. Yeah. So yeah, I'd like to thank the Academy and everyone. Yeah, Winona Ryder, everyone.
There you go. Let's get this last little portion here because we're at 2:20. We're going to end in the next 5 minutes. I'm going to ask for score predictions, people. Score predictions real quick. We got a nice crew still in the house. What are your score predictions? I'm going to put my score prediction up here as well. Let me see if I can add it here.
Oh yeah, thank Tracy. I'd like to thank Tracy Neville.
Definitely got to thank Tracy Neville. I don't think any of this would be possible without her.
No, none of this would have been possible without the backing of Tracy, Gary, Phil, Neville.
The entire Neville clan, the whole family.
Yeah, the entire. No one ever mentions Mrs. Neville, do they? No one knows what her first name is.
You gotta wonder. This is my score prediction. I'm going 4-1.
Anne's not confident. Norm's not confident. Oh, sorry. Norm's not confident.
Got a 1-1 draw. Lee's got it 3-1 to the Mighty Reds. Bonkers got it 3-0. He's got Salah, Diaz, and Maka getting a goal in this one. Dustin has it 2-1 Arsenal.
Oh.
Wow, Dustin. Surprise prediction. Arteta out for blood, huh? Okay. What's your predictions, guys? What's your predictions? Lee, what's yours?
I'll go for a 2-1 win for Liverpool.
There you go. All right. And you have any goal predictors?
No, I don't want to jinx anyone.
All right. Okay. Brian, who do you got? Or what do you got in this one? You're thinking about it? Or maybe your mic went out. I think Brian might be still celebrating the win. So we'll see if he gets it. Kevin, you got 3-0. Okay, I got you on 3-0. Is this Brian's way of saying 0-0? Let's see. I don't know. Brian's not on mute, so that's interesting. I don't know. I think his microphone might have gone out. Or maybe Tracy, or maybe Mrs. Neville made an appearance at his house.
Battle Neville.
Is that her name?
Name Battle, yeah.
Okay. You might have Gary knocking on your door if you talk about his mom.
Yeah. Don't knock Battle.
Can't do that. Well, as we wait for Brian's prediction for the score of the game, you can see I have 4-1. I'm hoping that Liverpool can come out with some real fire. You can tell me in the comments. You can tell me what you feel about anything that we said in the show, or even will Salah match the record for most goal involvements in this game? Will Arsenal's set piece struggles cost them again? And obviously, who's your standout player on Sunday? Who you think is going to be your standout player for Sunday? I would love to hear that. Please drop your predictions in the comments below. Don't forget to vote.
Sorry, I was gone. 4-2 for me. 4-2.
4-2. Okay.
4-2.
4-2 is what Brian is predicting. Do you want to drop goal scores or no? Or you just want to stay with the 4-2?
No, I'll leave it with that. Bit of a mad one. Entertaining day in front of the home fans. Why not open up? Let the dogs loose.
There you go. All right. Well, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like, hit the bell, hit the notification bell. We'll be bringing you a Reds roll call tomorrow. Very important that you definitely be a part of that. And also we'll have a post-match breakdown as well after the final whistle. Look, people, simple thing as simple does, right? Up the Reds each and every time is how we do it. Oh, let me get this 2-1 Liverpool. A Mo Salah show is what Red Armchair Supporter is saying. I got it in there. Got it on the record for you, Red Armchair Supporter. Big up to you, by the way, on joining us. I guess for right now, let me let Brian say his final statement to the chat.
Yeah, I'd like to thank James Cameron. I'd like to thank Tom Hanks, who's always been a massive support to me, always a massive friend. Shout out to Tom. We've got what's 4:30? I mean, this whole thing about playing every Sunday at 4:30, it's almost like we're league champions or something, isn't it? So, yeah, 3:30 tomorrow, roll call. You know what to do.
Yes, you do. Yes, and by the way, Norm, the big up. Thank you. Getting close to that 500, that number of 500 subs. Be halfway to 1,000, and then from there, just keep doubling it all the way up. So, Lee, is there anything you wanted to say too, by the way?
Just thanks to everyone in chat. Thanks for your contributions. Thanks for being here. Shout out to Battle Neville, Metal Neville,
Neville, Heavy Metal,
Neville.
Yeah.
All of them. Shout out to all of them.
Sounds good. And shout out to everyone that joined us today. It does make a difference. We appreciate each and every one of you for your support. We enjoy even if you're a rival, we enjoy the fact that you are respectful in the chat. We'll be respectful to you. It's all just banter and laughs and jokes, but this is the home for us Mighty Reds, always and forever. That's how I see it. And it simply is a warm and hospitable place for those that do believe in the moniker of "You'll Never Walk Alone." So until tomorrow of the roll call, up the Reds each and every time, and we will see you tomorrow.